Sleep is absolutely vital for health. And let me explain to you a little bit about why it's so vital. Every second of your life, your brain is communicating with every cell in your body via your nervous system. And it does that via what we call a very low voltage electrical current called nerve energy. All the time, messages are coming from the cells sent up to the brain, who's like the big boss at the top, telling the brain what's going on in the body. And the body sends messages back to all of those cells telling them what to do and how to behave so that the body can stay in a state of what we call homeostasis, which means it stays in balance. Yeah? Now, that nervous energy that runs through your nervous system and is responsible for the entire messages and communication that go on in your physiology, that nervous energy is not an endless supply. You weren't born with this massive battery attached to your back, and when the battery runs out, you keel over. Okay, that wasn't the design. The design is you've got rechargeable batteries. Hey, that's a novel idea. And literally, like a rechargeable battery, you have to put yourself on charge at night. When you go to sleep, you are recharging this nervous energy. In other words, your nervous system is absolutely dependent upon functioning properly according to how much sleep you have. Now, that might be, again, simple, and to some people it might be obvious. But no knowledge is of any use unless we apply what we know. So how many of you, I wonder, think to yourself, well, I know this. I know sleep is important. I know that my body can't heal and repair and maintain this steady state in an underslept state. And yet, how much priority do we give sleep? Do we push ourselves at night until our legs are buckling from underneath us and then think, well, maybe I should stagger into bed? Or do we actually go to bed before we're that tired? How many of us use an electric rooster to wake us up? Cock-a-doodle, off goes the alarm clock. Yeah? There is a fallacy about oversleeping. You can't oversleep. Yeah? You can't oversleep. If your body hasn't woken up yet, it's because it hasn't finished recharging itself. And people say, well, if I sleep too much, I feel so bad when I wake up. This is because sleep happens in cycles. And it's in some of the deepest cycles of sleep that the most healing and repair goes on. And during healing and repair, there's a lot of toxins and a lot of broken down tissues and cells circulating in your blood system. So if your alarm happens to go off when you're in that deeper state of sleep, you're going to wake up feeling ugh, okay, really bad. On the other hand, if the alarm happens to go off when you're in your lightest stage of sleep, before you sink down to do more work inside, that lighter state, you won't feel too bad. But you can't oversleep, you can undersleep, and most people do. So as soon as we're underslept, we're compromising the cell of every tissue and organ in our entire organism. So quality of sleep. That's another thing. It's not just amount of sleep, it's the quality of our sleep. So many people sadly suffer from insomnia, an inability to sleep. Some people, they find it very difficult to get to sleep. Those people, classically and typically, are usually stressed to some degree. They're not relaxed enough to go into a state of sleep. Other people, they get to sleep, but then they wake up in the morning to go to the bathroom or something, and they can't get back to sleep. Now, it's interesting that according to studies in psychology, that the people who wake up in the night and can't get back to sleep, that's not so much stress as psychological anxiety or distress on an emotional level. So it's people who are depressed, people who are challenged by their emotions, are the people who are going to wake up in the night and can't get back to sleep. Whereas the person who's simply all lit up with how much they have to do in a day is the person who can't get to sleep in the first place. Of course, some poor souls are both. They can't get to sleep, and if they do wake up, they can't get back to sleep. And then, of course, their health is compromised, and as a result, the stress and the anxiety increases, and it's a vicious cycle.